12 seasons at Old Dominion. And, Charlie, fourth consecutive season with 20 more victories, 8 postseason appearances, straight. Something tells me this man can coach a little bit. Not bad, huh?
I know I first ran into him, and not only did he have a good basketball team, but I froze to death when he was in Montana out there. But
he's all tournament out there.
That's exactly right. But
I stole half your plays from you.
I'll tell you what, he's done a great job at Old Dominion.
Well, yeah, and as we said, coming off another season where you get postseason play, how much does that mean? How much does that tradition mean now for what you have built and what you continue to build at Old Dominion?
Well, when I came out, I was somewhat of a hired gun because they were building the Constance Center. And really, when I looked at the building, the Constance Center, I looked at the campus overlay, and I saw a school on the rise. And the campus overlay has probably changed 2 or 3 times since that time. So I've been really fortunate to be a part of the growth. Came in and recruited 9 kids in 18 months, and now I'm on my 4th cycle of kids. But I've been really blessed that I've had some really good players, great administrative support, and, of course, have grown with the CAA. When I came into the league, there were 6 schools. Then there was 10, and then there was 12. And obviously we're in kind of an awkward time here with our last year in the CAA, but I'm very reflective of the 22 years that we've been in the league. And, of course, I don't know how many coaches have been in the league longer than 12, but can't be a real long list.
Yeah. I think you and Bruiser might be the only ones that But
we were arguing today who got hired first that spring.
You got a lot of new players this year, but you were able to take a trip to Greece, I think, in the preseason. Tell everybody a little bit about how that gets your team together and how that develops team chemistry.
Well, 7 of our 12 kids have never checked into a game, and so that blend of the old and the new is something that we were able to. The 10 practices, but one of the things that I noticed is the girlfriend can't get a hold of them, the buddies can't get a hold of them. They're not sitting at dinner trying to text anybody, and really you spend time together. And there's the historical part of going to the Vatican and going to the Colosseum and all that kind of stuff. But just the time together bonds you together and makes you closer friends, probably more ready to handle the speed bumps of a season. And it kind of galvanized us as a group.
Well, Greece has some very good talent over there to play against too, I would imagine.
Yeah, our 3rd and 4th games we had a little bit of sickness, and so I wish some of the kids would have been able to. Our 4th game we got tuned up pretty good. They were big and fast and good, and so you go over there and you'd like to maybe play great every game. I think it was a good experience for us to lose our 4th game.
Right. Before we talk about some of the newcomers that Blaine Taylor is counting on, let's talk about a couple of the key returnees, guys like Nick Wright and Dante Hill, who are going to be very critical for you this year.
Well, good question. They were just voted captains by their teammates here the other day, and Nick is a 5th-year senior, and so he's kind of been through the wars and can lend some perception to the other kids about what's going on. And then Dante, interestingly, he's an area kid. So in 2010, he watched us go to the NC2As and beat Notre Dame. In 2011, he was a part of the program when we went and lost at Butler in that heartbreaking first-round game. And then last year got the chance to kind of step on the court and be a part of it. So he's poised and ready, I think, to take the next step and maybe take a Bazemore spot.
Well, you have a young man, Deshaun Painter from North Carolina State that's transferred in. I have not seen him, but I've heard he's a very talented player.
Well, he's established as a reliable post player at an elite level. But he's had a lot to learn. Our drills are different, our playbook's different, the things we do are different. But I think Deshaun it's a breath of fresh air to come to practice and actually have a couple of guys that have actually shaved before they came. So the rest of them are so young. But I do think the injection of an older player, which is a rare item in our program, will really help us this year.
Got guys like Batten and Ross coming back. Talk about some of the other newcomers, particularly some of the freshmen who may make an impact for you.
Well, we have a big kid by the name of Ekene Anachebe from down in Georgia, 6'10", about 270, and he's a big old boy. But my dad told me when I started college coaching, he says, get him big enough to eat hay off the top of the stack and pull a plow, and he can. So he's got a bright future, but I think the impact will probably be felt more on the guard line. We've got 4 guards coming in. Keenan Palmore is probably more of a point. Ambrose Mosley is probably the best defender. Aaron Bako is a combo guard. And then Dion Clark is a wing player of sorts. And interestingly, the last 2 were over 4.0 students in high school, which is pretty rare in a basketball recruiting class.
I've always said every time I have one of your games, I knew several things were for sure out there. One, you're going to rebound, you're going to guard, and you're going to go after the boards. Now, I can't imagine things changing. You tell me if they are or not.
Well, that's a challenge. I mean, you got a new team, and you got the things that have allowed your program to be good year after year after year. And I think the kids have watched and kind of understood that that's got to happen. But I can tell you, in practice, you get spoiled with how good your teams are at certain things. I mean, we led the nation in rebounding 2 years ago, and I got some of these guys looking at me like I'm crazy when I say, hey, you need to go to the glass. And so it's a challenge for me. It's a challenge for them. But hopefully we can, reproduce some of those things.
And it's also great, one of the other things you can count on is a great crowd and support at the Constant Center.
Well, as we look at our season, we've beefed up our non-conference schedule. We've got a great schedule in the league. We got a lot of the best schools, at least they think, playing them twice. But we've led the league in attendance year after year. The fact we're not in the tournament this year, a lot of our lasting memories of this season will be playing in the Constant Center and playing all over the United States.
Blaine, we wish you great luck. As
Thanks
always,
so much,
thanks so much.
Thanks, Charlie. You guys are the best.
Blaine Taylor, 12 seasons and doing it great at Old Dominion University.